Well, welcome everyone to the Shrewsbury Public Library Board of Trustees. My name is April Prince and I'm Vice Chair filling in for Chair Lisa Powers, who's traveling. So we'll call the meeting to order and then Priya's gonna take it over to introduce our new teen librarian.
Sure, thank you, April. I'd like to introduce Kaylee Hobber, our new young adult / teen librarian. She brings a lot of enthusiasm and
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you all for having me. It's nice to meet all of you. A little bit about my background. I graduated from UConn with my master's in sociology in 2023, and then in 2024 I earned my master's in library and information science. Most recently I worked in the teen and children's department at Fulton Public Library, doing like youth services assistant kind of stuff. And I really fell in love with working with teens, and so I was looking for a teen position, and then this one opened up, and I was like, this is perfect. So it worked out really well. I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, thank you for having me.
We're delighted to have you.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Big job.
Yeah.
She was here before the last day of school.
Yes.
Yeah. And I survived. So.
You're still here.
Yes.
We do that.
Yes.
That must have been a fun day.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was fine. It was crowded, but yeah.
Wonderful. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is we're going to hear from the Shrewsbury Town of Shrewsbury 300th Anniversary Committee.
Thank you, April.
Welcome, Mr. LeBeau.
It's John. Thank you, everyone. It's John. My name is John LeBeau. For those of you who don't know and are curious, yes, Debbie and I are married. I'm the chair of the 300th Anniversary Celebration Committee, and I'm not really coming in with an ask, at least not an ask tonight. I'm coming in to acquaint you, as the executive body at the library of what we're all about and what we're doing and what we hope to do in 2027. And obviously we'd love to have the library in whatever way, shape, or form it finds within its resources to participate. So very quickly, just to give you a little bit of the, I guess, the background, the select board created a committee on February 3rd, appointed us. They created a committee in the fall of 23, and then in February of 24, they appointed a 9-member committee to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the town of Shrewsbury's founding, which officially is December 15th, 1727. So on December 15th, 2027, the town will be 300 years old. Our charge is to research, evaluate, make recommendations, and coordinate the town-wide activities to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the incorporation of the town, to develop a comprehensive plan for celebrating and promoting the anniversary, to identify funding needs, to identify sources of funding, to identify opportunities for participation by individuals and organizations, and to develop and implement a strategy for marketing and communication. So just to tell you who we are, as I mentioned, I'm the chair. Nicole Torres is vice chair. Melanie Petrucci is our secretary. The other members of the committee are Gail Aslanian, Jim Jolliker, Moira Miller, Carol Ann McAdam, Anand Sharma, and Siva Subramanian. We've been meeting monthly since March of 2024, and we've got a few basic concepts together. One is our goal, our hope, our intention is that it's going to be a multifaceted celebration event that we'd like to take place over most of 2027. And we hope to do that in kind of a two-pronged thinking process. We'd like to have, and I keep saying we'd like to have because we don't have the money yet. I mean, we have some money, but we can only do what resources we have. So Fingers are crossed, and we're right now just about to embark on our fundraising. But for the committee to kind of sponsor, organize, and handle several big events, we're thinking of some type of kickoff. The kickoff might take place actually in December of '26, being a year out from the true anniversary. We might tie it, oh my goodness, to the event, the holiday marketplace that takes place, behind us. We might not. I mean, there's been some discussions between both the groups, if that makes sense, if it doesn't make sense, but definitely a kickoff, some kind of gala, probably towards closer to the anniversary date at the end of the year. During the year, the number one thing folks have indicated they'd like to see is fireworks. We know some folks have reasons not to like fireworks, particularly those who are dog owners, but we're exploring fireworks. We've consulted with the fire department. We were actually thinking of fireworks in the fall. There's a long history of sort of community celebrations in Shrewsbury in the fall. Back in 1727, there's actually a video of the parade. They called it Homecoming, I believe, was the event in Shrewsbury. Excuse me, in 1927. I saw a couple confused, video, I saw a couple confused faces, and I said, oh, I must have said something wrong. So as long ago as 1927, we are aware of celebrations of the town in the fall. But the fire chief cautioned us. He said, if it's a drought-filled summer and there's some type of outdoor fire ban, you're not going to be able to do it. So their advice was think about more like the spring. So now we're thinking possibly in June of 2027 to have fireworks, and as I mentioned, to have some type of gala in the fall. But so that's kind of the mega stuff, the town-wide stuff, the most widely, we'd like to think widely appealing to the community. But Shrewsbury has such a deep, fabric of organizations, communities, and individuals that are doing all kinds of different things that attract different people's interests. So for instance, I frequently use the Garden Club and the Historical Society as examples, but say the Garden Club wants to do a garden tour. That's not going to appeal to everyone in the town, but it's certainly going to appeal to some. Historical Society might want to do house tours. They have some lectures or things like that. And again, limited, not as wide an ask, but the houses of worship, the fraternal organizations. I mean, everyone is doing their thing. We would like to involve those organizations in 2027 to perhaps consider either making their own 300th anniversary event, or at least somehow changing. They may do something every year, but perhaps they could mix it up a little bit in 2027 and make it give it a little bit of a 300th anniversary hook. So we're in the process of reaching out to a host of organizations in the town to talk to them to encourage them to think about what they might want to do. Now that doesn't come with any guarantee of funding from the committee, but nor does it come with any indication that we're going to tell people what to do. We think the Historical Society knows what the Historical Society does a lot better than the 300th Anniversary Committee. The Historical Society, with its own resources, chooses to do something. What we want to do is help promote that. We have on our website, it's pretty vacant right now, but we'll have a calendar of events for 2027. We're going to try to help there not be large conflicts of events on a given day, or at least give people a heads up, different organizers a heads up that things are coming. Or, you know, I probably should have said, my usual example is the Friends of the Library. I'll have to think about that for the next time. But for instance, I mean, the library does so many different events and activities in this room and in the building that, you know, we're hopeful that there can be something done. I mean, you have the, and I'm not going to pretend I know it in any great, have any great knowledge of it, but I know you have is it the Ward collection? So, I mean, you certainly have source, original material of, you know, the very beginnings of the town. Perhaps that's something that could be, something could be done with. So let's see, I kind of went out, so that's sort of the, you know, very roughly the calendar. We've been out and about, you know, doing events and speaking to groups and organizations. We did the Spirit of Shrewsbury. We did the Yuletide Market. We've spoken to the Rotary. We've spoken to the senior group, and we're out and about now, just kind of trying to talk it up. We hope this summer, and it's been a lengthy process, as you all know. Government bodies don't move with the same kind of speed. You know, government bodies weren't designed, truthfully, to be as efficient as they might be. They were designed, well, they weren't. They were designed to be open and transparent, and so there could be a full public process, and it's a little bit of a yin-yang. So it took us, I mean, some members had no familiarity with the open meeting law coming in, and that was a little bit of a rude awakening. You know, we had some folks said, well, we shouldn't say a word publicly till we have our logo. And everything takes time. So, I mean, we have a logo, we have a website, we have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page. And we've done these feedback sessions. We've done 2 so far. We'll have another one in September, a virtual one. We're required by the select board to do at least 3 in the first 18 months of our existence. So that'll conclude that. But as I mentioned, we're getting ideas and suggestions, some of which are fabulous and things that we've absolutely never heard of. For instance, somebody came forward to us and suggested a running race, a road race. And so we've talked with Parks and Recreation about that. Possibly there will be some type of Shrewsbury, I'd like to hope it's called the Shrewsbury 300, but who knows. In spring, probably in the spring of 2027. Don't want to step on the toes of the turkey trot. But of course, then the Pride Run just happened. That was a new one that caught us a little bit by surprise. So, I mean, we don't want to step on anybody's toes, but we want to give due consideration to the event. So, okay, I mentioned we have our social media sites. We're up and running. We can take donations. There's a QR code at our website. We do have some funding from the town. We have $25,000 has been appropriated by town meeting. Rep. Kane has put in a $50,000 earmark in the state budget, but has very strenuously cautioned us. It's not the greatest environment for earmarks right now. Last year, some earmarks were given and clawed back. So we've made only through the very first step, which was, it's in the House budget. It has to be reconciled with the Senate. It has to be signed by the governor, and then the governor still has the authority to release the money or not release the money. So, Rep. Kane was very, very clear. Don't count on it. There was a newspaper article that the legislature didn't provide some funding for the 250th anniversary of the revolution for Concord or Lexington, which kind of caught everybody by surprise. But we were in challenging, state budget was in rather challenging times, and that's only been exacerbated by uncertainty relative to federal funding. So just as towns have that issue, cities and towns, so does the state. So we're looking for volunteers. we're looking for organizations that want to get involved. I think there's been some conversation, some informal conversation between some members of the committee and perhaps some members of the staff here. And honestly, I thought that was great, and it was all done with the best of intentions, but I thought it was appropriate to come before you all, because you're the trustees of the public library, to let us know, to let you know that, we would like to work with you, however you would like to work with us. We'll be back again at some time. But I wanted to catch you before we get into the summer, because we hope to be, we hope to continue to increase our level of activity on a regular basis. And this fall will just be slightly more than a year out, and we have to allow organizations the time to think of it. We might be behind on that already, but to give organizations the time to plan out what they're going to do. So that's really my pitch, or it isn't a pitch. I don't really, like I said, I have no ask tonight. I just wanted to let you know what we're doing. If something came your way, Priya, I just didn't, I thought I should let the leadership know that we're out and about and there could be conversations with staff. I told Lisa I'd do this in 15 minutes. I think I'm pretty well on time. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. I hope I haven't, I don't think I've forgotten anything. I think I gave you the gist.
Where do we find your webpage? Is it through the town site or?
Well, so it's similar to say, the library, at least I used you for the example this time, or the rec department.
Okay.
So at shrewsburyma.gov, the library has a page, the rec department has a page, but then you can click on something and you can go to their appropriate, specific site. Yours, I guess it's the CW Mars site, or maybe it's something else indeed. I know I go there for the catalog. So they have I think it's shrewsburyma300.com, which I don't always remember. So you can go to shrewsburyma.gov and go to search 300th, and then there would be a link there that would take you to the more proprietary, for lack of a better word, website. And so we're populating that regularly. That's where the calendar is. There's some so-called fun facts as we're trying to get the word out. There you
Got
go.
it right.
There you
It's
go.
lovely, by the way.
And and we have a local business has donated. We have to pay, for the domain name and all that, but basically donated their services to help us relative to the webpage. So we're getting hits and stuff, and there's a lot of interest. I guess what I should have said more demonstratively, we can only do what we have the people and the money. In a review of the 250th anniversary in 1977, those programs, there's a lot of those program books are kicking around town, and there's a list of all the committees or the subcommittees that they had, and I counted names. Over 300 people, over 300 individuals in Shrewsbury rolled up their sleeves to do something for that anniversary. Whether it was the one that I find the most amusing was the barbecue chicken committee, the barbecue chicken picnic committee.
Most important, I'm sure.
Well, they were all important.
Yeah.
I mean, but now, I think it's highly unlikely we're going to get 300 volunteers in 2027. Honestly, though I'm concerned about money, I think it's going to be easier to get money than to get people to volunteer. Because that's just my gut, man. Maybe I'll be wrong, but people are very busy. I think we're seeing with lots of organizations that their memberships are, it's hard to maintain a strong membership, or memberships are slowly sinking. So that's another thing. We would hope that maybe some of these programs that, say, the Friends of the Library do, you have your own communication channels, but to put it out through the 300th, I'm not saying it's going to all change the nature of the Friends business, but you might pick up a few new members. So it would be in in the Friends' interest, or the library's interest to attract new patrons, to be able to reach out to people of Shrewsbury through this new, this different way of getting in touch with them, not in your specific lane. So, okay, now I've gone way over 15 minutes. Are there any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say regarding the road race and wondering if you're going to interfere with the other two that are in town. Years ago, we had St. Mary's Road Race, we had Veterans Road Race, we had Spirit of Shrewsbury Road Race, we had Aaron Campano's son who had to his road race.
That's right, I have a t-shirt.
So I think there's a lot of interest for that, and in the past, we did have quite a few.
Yeah, and see, I don't have much experience in the running community, so I'm always, careful, particularly about things I don't know about. And some folks would say, John, don't worry about it. They love to run. I mean, basically, as long as you're not doing both on the same day, runners like to run. And I think the Pride race in the spring is a 5K. We might be thinking of something a little more ambitious than that, maybe a 10K.
300 meters.
Was it tough?
Don't ask me.
Oh, I thought you did it. I thought that's right.
I'm suggesting.
I thought you knew.
No joke.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting a 300-meter race for the event.
And a fun walk.
There you go, a fun stroll for 300 yards.
So if you think of anything, or you, at any time, don't hesitate to let any of us know. And like I said, we'll, in some way, shape, or form, it probably won't be like this. We'll probably maybe speak with Priya or speak with appropriate staff. But again, I thought it was appropriate that we, formally introduce ourselves to you. So thank you very much. Wanted to catch you on your last meeting before you had your last meeting of the year.
We appreciate you coming. I wonder, I haven't perused the website yet, but just with the 300, you mentioned 300 people and it's the 300th anniversary and all of that, like, people may think, oh, well, the committee, that's the committee and they have it covered and whatever. But if you put out a challenge of like, we'd like to get 300 people involved, it might help pull people in.
I said at a town meeting when I introduced us, gave our first report, I'm sad to say people didn't rush coming forward with their hands up, willing to help. As we get closer and events are more clearly delineated and roles might be defined better, perhaps then people will come forward. And I don't want to overstate that, but what keeps us up at night, I mean, none of us have ever done this before. I mean, so we're just trying to figure it out as we go. We've spoken with some of the other towns that are on similar timelines as us. But yeah, we'll do the best we can do with the people power and the financial resources that we have. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good meeting.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
So the next item on our agenda is to review and act to approve the minutes of the May 27th meeting, which I missed. I was very grateful for the recording, thank you, and the excellent minutes.
So thanks for our friend here. I know, right? I can make a motion to approve the minutes.
I can second it.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes unanimously. All right, so the next item on the agenda is to review and act to approve the report of the director's activities of May. Always a busy list.
Yes.
Priya, what was the team building activity, the staff team building?
Oh, we did, it was art program, watercolor crayons. That's what we did.
Fabulous.
The staff members were really, really happy. Yeah, I realized people are so artistic in my team. My art was like 4 years. The finished product looked exactly like my grandpa. But there are other artists in our in our staff, among our staff. So it was a lot of fun. Everyone really enjoyed it.
That's the best thing about art. It really is for everyone.
Right. Express yourself. And then how was the AI talk? That was,
Oh, the May 30th one.
MLS.
Yeah, the
MLS
MLS.
consultant. It was a virtual talk, it
Okay.
wasn't in person. The consultant's name is Jane Stimson, and she does this AI hour every month, and she is just amazing. She gathers together a lot of information, and as you can imagine, AI, there's always lots to talk about. Things are changing so rapidly. So she gives recent updates from the library world, how AI is being used mainly in academic libraries, college libraries, etc. Sometimes she invites someone, an academic librarian to give a presentation. This time she mentioned a bogus summer reading list that was put out and actually published apparently in the Chicago Sun-Times. And it was generated by AI, but it was completely bogus. So, a warning to be wary of what you read. And she talks about, new and updated tools, what's out there, video generators, image generators, all kinds of stuff. So it's very interesting. I'm not able to attend every month, but I did attend the last one. It's all recorded and it's on the MLS website, on the Vimeo page, so people can access that. We had invited her once to our library to talk to staff.
Are any of our high school students interested in systematic reviews?
Reviews of,
Well, a systematic review of any topic.
I am not sure how to gauge that if our high school students are interested.
What are you thinking, Louise? Say more?
Oh, I was just curious. I know a number of doctoral students who are working with college librarians to establish the schema for a systematic review over a certain number of years for their the background information for their dissertation. And whenever something happens in college, it seems like it's about 20 minutes before it's happening in high school. And there is free software out there to help with the design of a systematic review. So I was just curious.
Priya, can you speak a little bit about the meeting with Joe Sexton?
So we have monthly meetings, regular meetings.
Yeah.
Discuss. I think we can be cautiously optimistic that they, as I mentioned last time, they have received the report from that company that was assessing the HVAC system. And they haven't yet gotten back to me. He shared a copy of the report. What are their recommendations and stuff. Some are very simple. To me, it seemed simple, but they'll have to evaluate that. Refrigerant that has to be replaced. That was the first recommendation. And then a few other things, which I think they can do in-house or through their regular contractors. If none of that is effective, then they will look at an overhaul of the system. Yeah, so.
So they're wanting to try all the other things
Yes,
before they consider
yes.
a replacement?
Yes,
Okay. And it's 10 years old,
the building is, yes,
this OPM?
right,
Okay.
yeah.
any other comments or questions? I have a motion to approve the director's activities for May 2025.
I can make a motion to approve.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes unanimously. Okay, next we have programs and services. Oh, no, we have, yeah. Programs and services offered in May.
So many programs.
So many programs.
Always my favorite report.
I like the dance lady.
Because the question is, are you tired? If not, why not?
Fortunately, I'm not the one running all these
Yeah.
programs.
Yeah, there you go.
I have wonderful staff that
Stop
do
with teen
it.
burnout.
I was kind of interested in how you taught literacy with Latin.
That's done by a high school student.
What's the premise of it? I don't know.
That's some Aquera. That's the one you're asking about, right? He-
Led by Aaron Z.
This one.
Yes, Aaron
Yes.
Z. Teens
Aquera
teach,
is
the teens teach
The teens
program.
teach one, yeah.
Yes, yeah, he uses some, it's something called Aquera, like our,
Oh, okay.
Mango languages
Yeah.
and something, a resource. Very persevering young man, because initially there were just 1 or 2 students attending and stuff, but he is very diligent and it was scheduled on Sundays, and he's going to continue now again, so he is,
Excellent.
yeah, he's very dedicated.
What's the teens teach program? Is that
Oh.
the high school?
Right, so we have high school students reaching out to our teen librarian, to Annie Lee, before Kaylee started, with projects, with ideas, proposals that they want to, teach coding, teach how to study for SAT exams, or debate prep, and lots of things. Very, very ambitious proposals. So Annie Lee started this thing called Teens Teach, and then she asks them to submit the proposal through that, and then we coordinate with the students, see what age group they want to teach and when it can be scheduled, and so it's been very successful.
That's great.
I see that there's a third item on this list that was led by high school students. So that is so impressive to me.
Right,
I
right,
just think that is just so marvelous
yeah,
that they're getting involved and using the library in the way that is so productive and
right,
gives them such good experience.
yeah, absolutely.
How was the Fix-It clinic? Because that was something that you had
Oh,
to
it
move.
was,
right?
the
Did you have
first
to
time it was
reschedule?
scheduled, it had to be cancelled, because of snow. We
Yeah,
have
I know, I was
snow
like, what was the
days.
weather? Was it 100 or something?
I know.
That was 2 months ago.
Can't remember what was,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
snow and the library was closed.
Yes.
We scheduled it again. It was pretty successful. We had, I think, 6 volunteers who wanted to, help with the fixing of stuff. And the public came, and it was relatively successful, considering this is the first time that it's being
You
offered.
were there, Barb, right?
You were. I certainly
Oh,
was,
yes,
yes.
Barbara was there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we thought we were gonna be doing more garment repair, and it ended up being more sewing machine
Oh.
repair.
Oh.
And that was
How did that go?
50/50. I was able to get half of them, I was able to get going, but yeah.
It's good.
Dean was one of the volunteers,
Yeah.
yeah.
And people were very, they were very curious, they were very understanding of, not being able, but they thought this was a nice first attempt.
Right.
And and getting something fixed, that, well, let's try this. And it was, they were actually there there was as much community building as anything, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, this is good, and, this is free, so we'll try this, and, and then they're like, but yeah, we made recommendations for you, if this doesn't work out for you, try such and such, and so, it was a lovely time all got together, and Missy does a great job, Missy Hallback did a great job organizing it, yeah. So she's in touch with other people who've done more of them.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so
yeah,
this
they're
was just
scheduling
our first.
another one in the fall, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara, for volunteering.
Oh, sure.
Any other questions or comments? there's not a total number on this list, but the stats for this month say it was 109 adult, teen, and children's programs.
Yeah.
Pretty fabulous.
Right.
And we're happy that the library welcomed 29,522 visitors and loaned almost as many books, which is 1,000 of each a day.
Yes.
Which is, really robust figures, so you're very lucky. Okay, that we don't need to approve, although we like it a lot. Yeah. All right, the next item on the agenda is financial and legislative. So we have the year-to-date report at the very end of the year here.
Yes.
Look at 99%.
Did a good job.
Maybe less than one to go. Yes, that week.
So I feel like I ask this all the time, so apologies. The things that are the longevity, which is at 185%,
Yeah,
and the dues and membership at
Yeah.
165, just because it's the end of the fiscal year?
Yeah,
Does it all just
Yeah,
kind of
it-
come out in the wash of
I
other
mean,
parts that aren't
we
at
just have
100?
to look at the whole library operational
Okay.
expenses, salaries, and then separate. I really don't know why the longevity is not put into the munis, you know,
Right.
in the beginning itself, because that doesn't change that number.
Right.
But,
Well, and then there's always things like the car allowance is always low, you know.
right, so it all balances out.
Anything you want to add, Claire, our new treasurer? I was very glad to hear that you're thinking about doing a little tutorial booklet.
That's what we were
Yes.
thinking, yeah, we had a meeting.
I was watching the
Our
meeting and I
committee.
was like,
Absolutely. Much needed.
Yeah.
It's complicated, you know, it really is. I think, you know, I know for years I didn't have a real appreciation of the various sources of income for the library and stuff, and how you decide what to choose for what, and there's a lot to it.
Is there a motion to approve?
So,
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? And the motion passes unanimously. Facility, equipment, and grounds.
Yes.
Talk about those tables out there.
Yes, did anyone see, you did see those? They are
Fabulous.
installed right out there. Felix Gregory did an amazing job. And he's only a junior, so he's done it a year before he's due to, but it looks beautiful. The tables match perfectly with the rest of the benches and tables there, the picnic tables. And he's got the gaming thing. It looks very nice on top of the it's like a laminated glass, not breakable glass, but laminated like plastic plexiglass thing on the tables. Yeah, and he and his group of people, helpers, parents and others, I guess, came and installed it without even the help of public facilities.
Wow.
They did an amazing job. Looks great.
Will people know that there are like checkers and things at the desk?
So we are in the process of getting those ready. We have to catalog that and have them at the desk, so it's not yet ready.
Sounds good. Excellent. Well,
when did the
Thank you, Felix.
installation happen?
It was one of those rainy days.
13
Saturdays.
Saturdays.
We had 16 in a row, 16 rainy Saturdays in a row, so it was on
I
Saturday.
think it was 17.
17?
Yeah, because the Saturday before this was rain.
I was like, no.
There you go.
There you go, I was like, no. Oh, I got snow on it.
It was last Saturday.
It was last.
It was last Saturday. Saturday or Sunday. They came at night and it was closed.
Undercover.
I was gonna say,
Installed
installed installation.
Well, it's nice, especially now that they have those chairs.
Yes,
Chairs,
right.
it just creates a nice
Right.
kind
It
of
is.
vibe.
Yeah, exactly. That's community vibe.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Anything for gifts and grants?
No, but
Personnel, so you met Katie.
You met with,
Can I just April, can I just ask a quick question back to facility, equipment and grounds? How was the second floor today, air conditioning wise?
it's very hot.
Yeah.
But it's not just the second floor, it's the main floor also. The circulation desk, the staff area has been very hot.
Yeah,
The public area has been hot. And surprisingly, the
Yeah.
old part of the building is
It's
cool.
What?
yeah,
Yes.
because yesterday it was,
But
Are you kidding me?
it was very hot yesterday, it's been brutal today.
Yeah.
We have fans in different parts of the building, we needed more fans, I asked them if they could bring some. They didn't, but they said they would. I reached out to the town manager also and informed him that it is really, really,
yeah,
because the staff was
It was.
really
Yeah.
very uncomfortable.
yeah,
A couple staff members left early, they said they couldn't work.
wow.
It was really hot.
Especially given that the library is kind of a
Cooling
climate
center.
for cooling.
Yeah.
Where the staff are working, they all have computer systems, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Which already generate heat and
Right.
need to be maintained at a
Right.
reasonable temperature, so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's.
It's been hot.
Yep. So we'll call Joseph back and tell him.
Sounds like they need more refrigerant or something.
Or refrigerant, yes.
Anything else on facility?
No.
So I think we're at the Shrewsbury Public Library
Personnel,
Foundation.
did you want to talk about your meeting with the town manager or?
Oh, yes, I can update on that. Lisa and Purnima and I were the personnel committee, so we met with Kevin Zakar, town manager, and Christina. And it talked a little bit about the director's salary and presented the statistics that we talked about. I think we talked about it in March, in terms of how much traffic there is in the library and what comparable salaries are. So the town will be doing a comprehensive salary sort of overhaul study next year. So we felt like it was really good timing to just sort of plant the seeds of, where Korea's salary sits and the maximum median and things like that. And they were very receptive, very cooperative, in wanting to work together. It was a very positive, upbeat meeting. So we didn't expect to come away with any answers or news or anything like that, but it was a good way to get the messaging started, so, yeah, grateful.
Okay. On the review process that we talked about.
Sure, you wanna chat a little bit about that?
Yeah, and we also talked about the review process and how the town wanted to contribute or participate in the evaluation process. They're not looking to come and do everything, they're just looking to participate, which is very nice. It was a very good interaction, I have to say. They did talk a little bit about updating the forms in a way that fit with their system. Was something that's compatible with them, and I think you shared the Google Forms that you had created this.
Right, that we used this most recent.
So they were gonna try and come up, help us format it in a way that works with them.
But they were great about offering, their expertise and understanding that it's ultimately the trustees' responsibility to evaluate the director.
Good.
So who is reporting on the foundation? Because I was always involved.
I could, but Louise could.
Okay, and actually, you were at Mo's meeting too.
Yes.
For his, for
For the
the.
gala.
The
I was like,
gala.
oh no, another gala, 300th anniversary gala.
And is he just calling it an event? He's trying to call it an event, so
An
he's
event,
trying not
yes.
to say, is
I have
it been
mentioned
determined that it's a gala?
several people, but I'll mention it to all of you. I think it would be and please offer criticism. I think it would be a wonderful way to build
cohesiveness, and if we contributed something from the gala to the 300th anniversary celebration. And I know we're celebrating the 10th year after the library's renovation, and we have this we're celebrating thing, but it comes so close to the start. I don't really see why. I mean, it could be a confounding mess, but it could, on the other hand, it could also be something like weaving a tapestry of a civil society. And so I ask for guidance and feedback.
So just to update people, that the dates are October, right? Like the idea was
October
to do it in
16th.
October of 2026.
Fall of 2026.
Right, originally we had talked about spring, but fall.
Mhm.
And the working title is, Shh, we're celebrating. Which I love. I did not love it. I think that's a lovely idea to think about contributing in some way.
Is
or,
how'd you do it? I mean, is it just thematic contribution? Is it a real physical contribution, a financial contribution? I imagine that the Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation is thinking of it as simply a way to raise funds for the public library. But I think that the public library, under the guidance of the trustees, could say, this would be a very good way for the public library to build connectivity, if it's necessary. The library is doing so great, it might not be necessary. So, I'm a new kid on the block. What do you guys think?
Well, the big thing was the three boards working together. The Friends Board, the Foundation Board, the Trustees, as working together. So that would certainly link to that in a nice way. But yeah, so we'd have to brainstorm as to what we want that contribution to look like.
I think the only tricky thing is that it won't have kicked off yet. Like, we're 2 months before that December 2026 kickoff, but I'm sure there's some kind of synergy. It seems like a potential missed opportunity if we can. So
It might be well to let it just go under the bridge and be finished prior to the kickoff for the 300th anniversary.
That's an interesting idea, though, that I think, we should explore a little bit more. I know that the theme is kind of education. I kind of like the theme better of lifelong learning to really kind of go along, I think, with our mission. But that would also go along with what you were saying, kind of like town-wide or something, some sort of celebration of the town over the years. But it's something I think worth exploring. It's a good idea.
I don't even know what that exploration looks like.
Yeah, I think it needs the gala committee talking about it. Basically, that would be the first step of it. Yeah.
but it brings up the question of our involvement in the just like us as a board and the library's involvement in the 300. So maybe that's something that we know will be off for the summer, that everyone can kind of put in their coppers, and we could revisit, just to start thinking about it in the
Very
fall, because
pragmatically, it seems like a very easy way to be involved. If you're gonna do it anyway, why not stretch the umbrella?
And the foundation also sponsored the AI.
Yes, on June
Which was
10th.
well attended and very interesting.
Yeah. And most of you attended that.
healthcare.
And Mo and I also met with Kevin, talked to him about the foundation and about the planning of the gala and stuff. And he was also very supportive of that.
Commit to coming.
Pardon?
The proposed location is
The
here at the
library.
library.
We want it to be at the library, right, as
Right
of now,
here.
that's what we're thinking about.
We can meet, we can party, we can do.
We can do it all.
Exactly.
It's September, October, right? We may not have to worry about AC or heat.
Very smart.
Fall is the perfect. Who knows though?
Anything else about the foundation?
No, I think those three things, those 3 points.
Okay.
But I'll bring up the possibility or the discussion of how to look for a synergy between the foundation event and the start of the 300th anniversary celebration when the foundation reconvenes in the fall.
Sounds perfect. Okay, how are friends of the library?
Did you want to talk about
Oh, well, we had our
successful fundraising?
We had our last meeting until September, so everything's kind of quiet right now with the Friends. The bookstore is still going strong. We did have the successful fundraiser at Chipotle's. It's raised about $900 for 4 hours, which was pretty darn good, thanks to Kathleen's advertisement of it, so it was great. It was good. Yeah.
when we got
I know. And we got the check.
We did get the
So
check,
they're
yeah.
true to
It's
their
official.
word.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So that
Can
was
that be done only once a year?
twice.
Oh,
Twice. So I think we should go for it again. It's an easy night to cook. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like September when school starts.
Yeah,
People are
yeah,
busy.
yeah, yeah.
We're busy in September, you know. School.
It actually worked out well. You had the dinner and then.
Yeah, yeah.
you come here for the speaker.
Yeah.
Hit the complete. Actually, hit the drive-through. Hit the drive-through. What's up, man? Sit down at the live parking and enjoy your talk. It was terrific. Yeah, there you go.
Excellent. Okay, so if we move on to policies, we have the periodic review of the Board of Trustees art bylaws. So we review those generally every 3 to 5 years. Lisa did a terrific job working with Priya to update the bylaws and just, update the wording on some things to be a little more specific. So in your packet, you have the revised bylaws and then a breakdown of what was changed.
I appreciated that separate breakdown. Yes, that was very helpful.
Exactly.
Changes are quite subtle.
Yes, they are small but important. A couple of new insertions of clauses, section 5.04. And then also Lisa added a section about what what our agenda usually covers, which I know is nice. Does anybody have any questions or further discussion? I think it was mostly discussion last month. If not, then I think we can take a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
revised bylaws.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the bylaws pass unanimously.
For another 3 years. So I'd say you're actually a little longer this time. Yeah.
Okay, next we have the social media policy.
This is a new
This is the new
policy.
one?
This is a new policy. We've not had this before. We looked at samples from other libraries and some examples from the MLS website and created a simple one. The town is also creating a policy, that's 4 or 5 pages long and more legalese language there. Ours is pretty simple. I think it covers guidelines and stuff that we thought was important.
I was surprised at how many different media we were using. Who
Yes.
takes care of it?
We have Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Flickr. We had created those accounts. We were active on those during the pandemic. Now we're not adding new content. We included Threads and Blue Sky because they are newer platforms. We may use them. And TikTok, Kaylee said at the interview, during her interview that she likes TikTok, so I have to make her work on that. But we just included all of them.
So is Kaylee in charge of the sites, or
No,
who's in
it's
charge?
different people. It's Diana mostly for Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram
They're the
we've
same
been doing
thing,
for a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah,
so
they're related, yeah.
Diana does a lot. The children's staff do their own posts. Yeah, it's a group of people.
Do you think that that this policy should have said something about the appointment of staff members to relook,
Who's in charge?
to take care of it? Yeah, because it's talking about, this whole thing is written as if the library is operating the social media account,
Yeah.
which is not true. There is an individual, or always going to be a couple of individuals
Yeah.
that are managing the social media account on behalf of the library. This is good protocol for, what can be removed,
Yes.
or like this section is very clear and explicit about what kind of content can be removed.
Yeah.
And then above, you are suggesting what kind of content will be posted.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be capturing the human element of that somebody is going to be appointed to operate these pages at the discretion of the director, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter, but reading this, it makes it seem like the library is operating the page, which it isn't, right?
That's a great observation. So we created two things. One for external, this will be posted on the website,
Okay.
right? Once it's approved by the trustees, the
Okay.
policy. And then we have a social media strategy, we're calling it, which is internal.
Okay.
And that talks about the outreach and marketing librarian will coordinate with various departments to help develop this, content creators, and, it goes into those details.
Okay.
We thought public doesn't have to know that
I hear you.
element of this. So the policy is different from our internal protocol.
Okay, as long as we have something in
Yeah.
writing
Yeah,
that captures that the pages are not being operated by the library, like, because the human element is tremendous in
Of
managing
course.
any social media
Yeah.
page.
yeah,
And I just want that there's something that is safeguarding
Yeah.
the library
right.
in, any misuse or
Yeah.
errors or whatever might occur just because of pure human error,
Sure.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So as long as you have another internal thing that's
Yeah,
capturing that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have an internal document. And I think we'll add a note to say that library will also follow the town's social media policy, something to
Something like
refer
that.
to that, because
Yeah.
they have taken care of all the,
Right.
legal aspects of this. I'm sure that was reviewed by the town council and all that.
Right.
It's not yet been approved, I think, by the select board, but once that's approved, so that will also be on the website, and we can refer to that
Mhm.
also.
I've seen the Shrewsbury Public Library pages on Facebook, and I think I've probably even commented, but to the best of my knowledge, people outside of the library staff are not allowed to create content on those
Yeah,
pages.
they can comment.
They can comment.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's
So
definitely-
only SPL staff will
Yeah,
create content, but I'm
100% sure that not all staff would have access to creating content, right? So just something that captures like who the people are
Yeah.
as part of their description and you know,
We have an internal document.
I mean, I'm concerned in terms of like hacking and there's a lot that can happen. Like if my personal account is hacked, chances are my professional account will also get hacked because I am the operator of my professional organization's pages, right? So at some point we have to recognize that these pages are not 100% representing the organization. They are partially also representing the person who is putting the post. Because if their account gets jeopardized, it's, you know, so it's just a line that we need to be fair about so that we're not liable or held responsible for something, you know. Okay. Having said all that, I can make a motion to
So do you want to make a motion to approve with the addition of the acknowledgement that the library will follow the town's social media policy? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, sure.
After?
Second.
Second, awesome. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion passes. Okay, and the internet access Wi-Fi, that is revised, that was an existing policy.
Yes, some revisions made to that.
These were pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you can see the changes made. Because we just did the strike through and we will change them. Yeah, the first paragraph, we say C.W. Mar's library card in good standing. What we had noticed was that if a person has a C.W. Mar's library card, but they have a fine of over $10, then we would say, oh, you can't use the library, you can't use a computer. And then it was my adult services team that said that, that seems like we are, it's not providing equitable access because anyone who comes into the library can use the Wi-Fi. We are not asking for their card or whether they have lost an item or whatever. We're not restricting use of Wi-Fi. So why are we restricting use of the public computers? So, and we do provide guest access to temporary visitors, people from out of state and all that. Even if they don't have a library card, Shrewsbury library card or C.W. Mar's library card, we do provide access. So we removed that part of the sentence. So we're not going to, deny anyone access to the public computers.
Priya, did we used to have the express stations that has been?
Yes, in the old building actually.
in the olden days.
Olden days, 10 years ago, yeah.
1727 when we had video recording.
We had 15-minute stations in the old building.
Yeah.
Since we,
In some ways, it's too bad that we don't have that anymore, but I
But
understand.
we have so many computers.
They're never all busy.
They're never all busy?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So we had to remove that language.
Looks good.
It was just those two, right?
Yeah.
Just those
Yeah.
first two
Yeah,
bullets.
looks like that, so.
Any other questions or thoughts about this policy?
I move to approve this motion.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the policy revised passes. Moving on to miscellaneous, Priya, there's some state aid
Requests, yes. Yeah, so we have been using the newsletter template that you see, in our quarterly newsletters for a long time. And we wanted to create a new template, a new design. So we approached our vendor named Wing Press. They are the ones who, I mean, we create the content, Diana creates the whole newsletter, and then they print and publish and mail the newsletters. So they have a graphic design. They've been doing our annual reports from the 3 boards.
Oh.
They do an amazing job with graphic design. So we asked if they could have the graphic designer create a new design template, and they said it would cost about $1,000, up to $1,000 for that. So we'd love to do that, and then it will look new from the the fall newsletter.
Very exciting.
Will they provide you with a couple of samples along the way?
They show, I mean,
Yeah.
they will work with us
Okay.
when they create the template, and we can suggest changes or whatever. Yeah. They do it really, I mean, we work very well together when we do the annual report.
It'd be nice because it'll have a cohesive look
Right.
between the annual report and the newsletter.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe,
Well,
maybe not.
Just planting that seed.
Is there anything that you wish for or that you don't have now in the current template? I'm just wondering what,
Yeah,
is
what
it
what
something
project?
beyond new? Or is there something that is missing now?
I think, I mean, we've been doing this in-house for many years, right? It's not really a professional graphic designer that has. It is pretty good, it is pretty good. I mean, different digital services, librarians have been doing it over the years. We just thought it might be time for a
New face?
a new look.
And many more people receive the monthly newsletter than receive the annual report.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody.
Every
gets
residence
the
in
quarterly.
Shrewsbury, yeah, the quarterly newsletter, right?
Quarterly.
We can't afford colored, right?
It is colored, right?
No, it's not, it's yellow.
It's one color.
No, it depends what your definition
Oh, it's
is.
color.
That's what I'm color. That's the color of the paper.
It's been blue, it's been green.
Okay,
Changes.
we'll take that.
I mean, it's yellow and black, right?
Right now,
Black
it's-
ink on yellow.
Okay, yeah.
But
yes,
it's saying,
check
take
off.
off if it was white with color.
That's an old
It's been peach.
It's been peach.
It's been
Oh,
blue.
yeah.
Dad was like, let me show you. You say corrected, okay, Dad, I've got the data. I have my data right here, it wasn't always yellow, that's just this year.
Not hotel.
Shania was gonna ask that.
According to marketing research, daffodil is the most eye-catching and eye-grabbing color.
That is not daffodil though.
No, that one is, but yellow. Daffodil yellow is supposed to be the eye-catching color.
Yes, I agree.
Will that change in 2026? You know, every year,
I
don't
think
they
it has to
come
do
up
right,
with a
right,
color?
right.
Yellow is always,
Yeah.
all right, did we make a motion to approve that?
Yes, we did.
I forgot, we should have got
That's
it.
great.
I know. All right, next, what?
Okay.
Oh, we're done.
I said, did we get a motion to approve?
$1,000 for create a new newsletter template.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, you've got your funding.
Thank you.
From state aid.
Yes. Yes.
Please choose the appropriate Pantone color color of the year. Okay, so review and approve up to $10,000 for the additional cost of the self-check. So
Yeah, this was the capital budget that was approved by the town. The
Right,
capital
town
budget, the quote that we had gotten in September or October 2024. What happened?
the microphones, can you just pull it closer?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. It's like a parent, it's gonna fall off the table.
Look at it sweeping away.
So that it had been approved, we had received the quote from this company, Envision, where, when we had created the budget proposal. And we recently met with the representative, and he said, oh, no, it's more expensive. So the quote that he gave, the new quote is $85,741. So it's, I mean, I said up to 10,000, so it's a little less than 10,000, but there is a difference in the quote that we had received earlier and the new quote. So I'm requesting that we make up the balance using state aid funds.
So how much was appropriated
At the town meeting, 76,300.
and did they explain, is it inflation, is it like, what's the?
It is a bunch of things. Inflation, we said tariffs. Yeah.
So the things you will be receiving are the same as what you originally?
Yes, actually, we are receiving one less, so we sat down and, one less at the checkout station. And we decided that that was fine, we can do with one less. But the cost has gone up.
So I move we approve the potential to go at another 10,000.
I
Yeah.
reluctantly second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion passes.
Just out of curiosity, how long was the quote good for? 30, 60, 90 days?
I have to look.
This one
at that.
says July 17th,
So
20.
that was just like a few, that was a month. This one was good for a month.
This is a new one, right?
I know,
Oh,
but-
did I share the old one?
Right.
I-
It's just on the time you did. No, but
Yeah.
this
No,
one.
but I'm saying that the date of the
This
quote
is
is
the new one.
6/17,
Right.
it's good until 7/17,
It's only
so
for a
I'm
month.
assuming
That
that was
also
for a
might
month.
have been
The
just a
original one
month.
was probably for a
Yeah,
month as well.
probably.
Yeah.
But if it hadn't been, if we hadn't met for town meeting yet,
No,
Right.
Yeah,
that was back in what, October,
Right.
November?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we approved it then, but
Right.
by the time everything happens.
exactly.
Yeah.
Plug in
But
without
sometimes you can
comparison.
you can tell people,
Businesses are in
yeah,
some-
I used to buy instruments, and so if I knew that my board wasn't going to meet in the,
you'd say I'd want to quote.
I would say, I
in-
want a quote that's good for 3 months.
Yeah.
Right.
If I couldn't present it to the executives before,
Right.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can try it.
Sure.
It doesn't always work, but you can try it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, review and approve informational session for ABA centers?
Yes, so this was a request that I received, EBA Centers of America in Worcester, Mass. They would like to set up a table to spread autism awareness, and they would like to hand out information about autism awareness.
Is it awareness?
One
or is
way
it-
thing.
Is it
Pardon?
promoting their services, or is it just like?
Just
autism
general
awareness?
information, yeah.
Yeah, because that was my question too. There are a number of different providers of
Right.
that service
Oh,
throughout the
okay.
Commonwealth. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, now that it's covered under health insurance. It used to
Okay.
be under the purview of the school district.
Okay, the
Now that
ABA
it's-
Center.
All ABA
Oh,
services,
okay.
because since it was geared towards autism, it used to be covered under special education services,
Okay,
but now it's covered by health insurance.
okay.
So there are a number of various and sundry pop-up places that
Mhm.
have
They
come
really
up.
are
Yeah.
all over the.
There are a lot of them.
Okay.
So yeah, we just want to make sure,
Clear
yeah.
about what,
So if they are promoting their services, then I would want to give an opportunity for other places to either maybe have an open house
Okay.
here.
no, I'll
various
make it clear
vendors,
when
but-
I respond to
Okay.
them that they should just be
Do you know when they want to
not
do it?
promoting that. They have given a bunch of dates, but those dates are passed, so I told them I have to get approval. And then,
But
Because
it says
April
that,
is autism awareness.
May was May?
I
think it's April.
April is usually autism awareness.
Okay.
but to
Not that-
Barb's point, I think that means no signage as well,
Mhm.
right? I mean, would you say
Um,
that,
I-
or?
I think-
American, ABA of America, just so there's so many organizations.
They should probably, if they could have information from the credentialing board, because there
Okay.
is a national credentialing board
Okay.
for behavior analysis.
I think that this is a little bit tricky because from the way it's in the
Mhm.
agenda,
Mhm.
it seems like the informational session is for ABA centers,
Mhm.
not
Yeah, I
autism or not
Right.
AB.
That's
But-
my fault. I
Okay.
did not.
So that's why it's throwing me off. Like
Yeah.
if the information session is about their center,
Okay,
then obviously all the informational materials that they will give would also be about their center, which I think the Board of Trustees is not comfortable with,
right.
but perhaps we are comfortable with information about autism or ABA
Resources.
services, resources.
Okay.
I'm just trying to translate what we're
Yeah, I mean-
comfortable with or not.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, we don't have tables for other businesses.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just in terms of trying to
Yeah.
parallel.
Right, well, I do remember not too long ago, there was a woman who gave a presentation on, on various end-of-life things. She was a deaf doula. She did not promote her own
Yeah.
business. She talked about how to help someone, she talked about end-of-life care
Right.
for people in your, that you're close to. So if it is something akin to that, where
Yeah.
you're talking about autism, and you're talking about how applied behavior analysis is used in helping people on the autism spectrum to acquire skills and, to function more appropriately and whatnot. So that's sort of a different take on it, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make that clear. In their email, they said no selling of any kind will happen. We're just providing information. But I will also make
Yeah.
sure that they are not promoting their business.
Right. There was so much. Oh, my goodness.
I guess we're not, what are we making a motion
We are
for?
making a motion to approve an informational session or table about ABA services and autism awareness.
Okay.
Did you just
Do we
make that
have to
motion?
add?
I guess I just made that motion.
Do we have to add anything with Priya, like once Priya investigates further, or?
Well,
Or don't.
if you give them the information that we talked about and then they say, yes, we'd still like to come, or,
Then it
This
just
is
goes
in keeping
forth,
with-
but if we say that, if we put another clause and Priya has to bring it back to us, which I was trying to avoid,
Yeah.
by saying that we're approving it if it is an informational session about, the way you phrased it was perfect.
Right.
And that's it, and then Priya does the rest of the work. And she finds out it's an informational session about the center, and she's like,
Yeah.
goodbye,
right.
you know, or whatever.
So maybe
That makes
it's
sense.
instead of using, that they have ABA centers in their name, which say, an information about applied behavioral analysis
Right. And/or
And
autism
autism,
awareness.
Yeah.
autism.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I will.
April, you want to say that again, so Mark captures the final version, which I'm sure you have, you got it? Okay.
She got it, okay. So we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Yes. So earlier they had suggested May dates, and then I wrote back to them saying, I have to get the approval. So then they gave June 26th and June 30th. Yeah, June 26th is two.
That's 2 days.
Yeah.
Also, it's two sessions there?
No, one of the days.
One, okay.
Yeah. Or
So possibly June 30th.
so to get back to. Okay, thank you. I have one other request that I forgot, that I did not include in the agenda. Remember, the board had approved funding for cardigans for staff.
Yes, yes.
Enthusiasm, we approved it with enthusiasm.
Yes, I'm sorry to say we need a little more funds for that, because the staff picked a different kind. I mean, Sonia had given the estimate based on what she had liked, and then we shared it with staff and said, look at this
Say no
website. And
We all
picked a
understand.
different one. So I'm requesting $500 more than what was approved. $1,500 was approved at an earlier meeting. The total now is coming to $1,934, so requested.
Hands to that.
I make a motion to approve up to
Five.
$600. $600. If there's any wiggle room, up to $600.
Plus tax.
Plus tax, right, for
And
cardigans, for
Shipping,
a lunch,
handling.
yeah, shipping, handling, the whole smack.
If you end up with an extra cardigan, you can give it to Mark.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, all
Thank you,
those
thank you
opposed.
very
All right,
much.
you've got your cardigan funding, and we can't wait to see them.
Can I test, who seconded that one? I made the motion to.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, is there anything else that we didn't discuss or anything else that we forgot? Okay, so
Voice has
I
way too
make a
silent.
motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So adjourned, and we'll see you September 23rd.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.